In this video, we are going to go over coordinate systems for MSC Nastran. Now, specifically, we are going to talk about the CORD1C, the CORD1R, and the CORD1S entries that are available in MSC Nastran. Today, we are going to be using a web application to do this. This web application is available at theengineeringlab.com. If you come to the site, click on the blue button here on the top right, you can fill out a form for a free trial, and you'll get access to this web app. That'll let you go through the steps covered in this video. So I want to cover a few things. I want to cover how to translate a coordinate system, how to orient a coordinate system, how to create a new coordinate system, and how to display and add labels for the coordinate system. Now, if you want to display coordinate systems, you will click on the model display panel here that's available on the left side. This opens this window or panel here on the right. If you want to display a coordinate system, you can mark the checkboxes under the display elements column. If you want to display the labels, here under display detail, you can mark those checkboxes and you get labels for all the marked or selected coordinate systems. Now, to translate or orient a coordinate system, this is what you would do. You would go to the orientations panel here on the left. You will select the target as CORD1C, CORD1R, and CORD1S. And then you'll notice something about this form here on the right. You'll notice we have to supply grid point 1, 2, and 3. If you look at the quick reference guide under maybe CORD1R, you get this diagram. This tells you exactly what G1, G2, and G3 are. So here G1 to G2, that's the z-axis of the coordinate system. A vector G1 to G2 and another vector G1 to G3. If you take the cross product of that, that gives you the y-axis of the coordinate system. And then if you take the cross product of the y-axis and the z-axis, this gives you the x-axis of the coordinate system. So it's the same thing here. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and select the coordinate system. Let's go ahead and reduce the size of this picking sphere. Let's select this coordinate system. You'll notice it turns blue. And then we'll jump to G1, and then we'll select a different node. Maybe we'll select this node. For G2, we'll select maybe this node, and then for G3, we'll go ahead and select maybe this node. Now, when you do this, you get a preview. So this gray dot, this is going to be G1. This blue dot is G2, and then this purple dot is G3. After that, you get some vectors, the blue and the purple. Those are going to be the vectors from G1 to G2 and G3. And then you take the cross products and you get these new vectors, vector red and green. The red is the x-axis of the coordinate system and green is the y-axis of the coordinate system. And then blue is the z-axis of that coordinate system. Once you're comfortable with the selection, you can click apply. And then this is going to confirm the change to that coordinate system. So if you go to the pre panel, so here on the bottom left, click on pre, go to CORD1R, you notice that the grids that we just selected a moment ago, they've been carried over to that bulk data entry. So you see we've selected grid 166, 170, and 151. If you want to, you can actually see the change in the bulk data entry. So let's go ahead and repeat the process. Let's go ahead and maybe move and orient the coordinate system to a different point. So here, let's click on reset form and reselect the coordinate system. We'll select a different grid. We'll select maybe this grid. For G2, maybe we will select maybe this node up here. And then for G3, we'll select maybe this node. And then when you do this, you'll see how different the position and the orientation is of that coordinate system. So G2 is up here. So the z-axis is in that direction. So this is shown by this vector. And then you have the purple point, which is G3. So this is going to orient the zx plane. And then in red and green, you have your updated X and Y axes respectively. So click apply. And then here is your new repositioned and reoriented coordinate system. Okay, now how do you create a new coordinate system? You go back to pre, you go to the coordinate system entry that you want. So in this case, we have a CORD1R. Let's go ahead and look for the other ones. You can create a cylindrical, rectangular, or spherical coordinate system, but here, or maybe let's select cylindrical. So we'll select CORD1C. We'll click on create entry, and now we have a new bulk data entry here. You'll notice if you look at the bulk data entry, fields 3, 4, and 5 are blank. So what we can do now, we can go to the model display panel. We can display coordinate system 6, which is by default located at the origin. You go to orientations, you reset the form, and now you repeat the process. Maybe let's go ahead and pick this coordinate system. Now, be careful, because this coordinate system 6, when it was created, it was placed at the origin, and it's overlapping with coordinate system 0, the basic coordinate system. So here we've selected this coordinate system, but it's actually detected 2 coordinate systems at the same place. Here at the bottom right, you have 0 and 6, so we don't want coordinate system 0, so we'll delete 0, and we have 6. So here under coordinate system 6, here on the top right, you see the value 6 is here. Now we can pick different nodes. So let's go ahead and pick nodes on the top. So we'll pick a G1, we'll pick a G2, and then we'll pick a G3. So maybe something like this. And once we're comfortable with the selection, we'll click apply. And then when we go back to the pre-panel, you'll notice that fields 3, 4, and 5 are now populated with the grid IDs we've selected a moment ago. So there you have it. That's how you go ahead and translate, orient these coordinate systems. This is how you create a new coordinate system, and this is how you display and add labels for the coordinate system.